This evening, I'm talking about commercial property, but I'm coming at it specifically from the angle of pensions. So I'm going to be talking a lot about pensions tonight, and it doesn't really matter what age you are. It doesn't matter if you've already retired. It doesn't matter if you're 18. You're never too young or too old to have a pension or to start a pension. All right, for anyone that doesn't know Touchstone Education, just a couple of quick slides. What am I up to with Touchstone Education? What are me, Aniko, Gordy, what are we all up to? Well, we want Touchstone Education to be recognised as the UK's premier wealth creation training company and to inspire financial freedom through innovative, excellent knowledge and support. That's what we're doing. Now, pensions falls fairly and squarely into the middle of that. Because just take an example, just think, I don't know, many people say to me, well, I don't actually have a pension, Paul. What I've got is buy-to-lets and they're my pension. Really? Well, okay, if that's true, then let's say, I don't know, you've got £10 million worth of buy-to-lets, let's say, by the time you pass away. And yes, they will have paid you a sort of a sensible pension, probably, while you're retired. But now you've got £10 million worth of property. The inheritance tax threshold is £300,000. So you've got 40% inheritance tax on 9.7 million. You've got a tax bill coming your way, or your kids have, or whoever you've left it to, of £4 million. £4 million. So yeah, Judy's saying, yes, so relevant to me. Right now, I've been scammed already. Sorry to hear about that, Judy. But let's look on the bright side. Knowing what you know now, what can you do about it? Or knowing what you know in an hour's time, what can you do about it? So having some sort of buy-to-let portfolio is not a pension, because you're going to give half of it to the taxman virtually when you pass away. And in order to give that half of it to the taxman, your kids or whoever probably got to sell it all at fire sale type price to raise some cash just to pay your inheritance tax bill. Very briefly, one slide on me and Aniko. We are property multimillionaires. We are fortunate to be so, but we also take responsibility. We had to do things to become multimillionaires. Our portfolio includes commercial property and specifically pension property. We're talking a lot about pensions tonight. We've been in business since 2003. What does that mean? It means we've had no job. We're wealthy because of the knowledge that we've got. This evening, commercial and property pension knowledge. The action we took, we're fortunate enough to have trained thousands of property investors. That gives me a huge kick, a huge buzz. We're completely financially and time free, because commercial property is both wealth for me and legacy. Wealth for me means more than rich. Wealth means you don't work. It means you've not only got sufficient money, it means you've got a lot of disposable time. What do I choose to do with mine? I train and educate other people because I love it. I'm a teacher. So your commercial property pension freedom plan. I want you to be absolutely clear on what's going to happen if you follow the system. I should probably put that in inverted commas. I'm going to give you a prime example of what happens if you follow the system. I want you to discover how to use commercial property in your pension and do it fast. Specifically, how do you set up a SIPP or a SSAS, self-invested personal pension? One person. SSAS, small self-administered scheme, up to 11 people, think football team. So I want you to legally build your pension freedom tax-free, because pensions don't pay tax. The rent your pension properties get in your commercial property pension portfolio don't pay tax. So it's all 100% tax-free while you're building that mega pension pot. Well, why would you listen to me? That's me stood next to one of my heroes. That's Damon Hill. He is a world champion racing driver, Formula One. If you want to learn how to drive racing cars, listen to him. All right. I am a world champion. I've got a world record for public speaking. So why would you listen to me? Because I've got a world record just like he's got. He is a 30-year racing driver veteran. I am a 30-year property veteran. So, we're quite similar in our different ways. I've maxed out my pension with commercial property, and I'd like you to do the same. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is the current pension limit that you're allowed to have in one pension scheme for you personally is £1,055,000. Let me make a note of that. 1,055,000. That's a lot of zeros, isn't it? 1,055,000. £1,055,000 is what you can have in your pension scheme. What's the average return for my pension scheme properties? Answer, 12.5%. I'm 55, so I can retire. You can't do that if you haven't got a private pension. I would have been retiring at 60 if I'd have stayed in my company schemes. And the old age pension, the state pension, is 67. 67. But I can retire at 55. I was 55 on the 3rd of August, so just over a month ago now. 12.5% return on my pension pot means £125,000 a year pension, roughly. So just put yes, just so I know you're still with me. Put yes in the box if you would like a pension of £125,000 a year. Yeah? My screen's gone berserk. Yep. Yeah, man. Yes, please. Yeah. Yes, says Matt, whoever that is. Don't know which Matt that is. That's a lot of yeses, says Gordy. That is a lot of yeses. So there's some specific message. They wouldn't pass. Yeah. You want more? What do you mean? You want more, Claire? Or you want more than 125 grand? Or you want more information? I'm not sure. But anyway, I'll give you both. I've trained thousands and thousands of people with regard to pensions and property. And I'm very, very passionate about helping other people. All right, you want info and money. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. So Vanessa's saying, woohoo. Mark is saying, yes, please. So let's just do it. So what's your pension plan? Now I need to get you thinking. I've got lots of content, but I need you to think before we start. So just put yes in the box if you've got a pension. Who's got a pension plan? Maybe about 40, 50. Work pension, 60. Mark is saying no plan. Paul is saying state pension. That doesn't really count for the, well, all right, it does, but that's 160 quid a week or something. That's like 8 grand a year. All right, well, I'm guessing, because they've all gone whizzing past fast. Graham's put yes, but it's crap. You just made me laugh. Yeah, well, yeah, as you can hear, you made me laugh. I probably should be crying, shouldn't I, or something? I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. You did make me laugh. I'm sorry. All right. Now, so Nav is saying no pension. Kathy is saying, will the state pension even be around in 30 years? Doubt it. Yeah, Bernice, mine is also crap. All right, well, let's do something about it then, shall we? So make a note. Write down now on a bit of paper. Don't put it in the box. We can if you want, but don't put it in the box. Write down how much you need to live on, like when you retire. So, I don't know, many people would say £3,000 a month. Some people would say £4,000 a month. Some people would say £10,000 a month. Daniel's seen a baked bean pension. I don't know what that is. So, yeah, what do you need to live on per month? Just write it down. Paul is saying minimum 200 quid a week. Adewale is saying 6.5 grand. Tony's saying 3 grand. Deborah's saying 5 grand. Greg is saying 10 grand a month would be nice. Matt is saying 3.5. Tendai, 10. 4, says Daniel. Okay, Jackie. Yeah, so most of you are in the range of, I'm going to say virtually, well, all of you are in the range of 2,000 a month to 10,000 a month. Dalby has just said 60,000 a year. Vanessa said as much as I can get. Well, yeah, I know that, but I want to try and help you put a plan together. So, you know, I need you to have a realistic figure as to what you want to get to. And I'm going to say the average is probably 5-6 grand a month. And 5-6 grand a month will be comfy, won't it? All right. So Anthony is saying 5 grand a month would be great. Okay. So what will your current pension provide? So just put yes if your current pension plan exceeds the figure that you want to live on. So just put yes or no. Will your current pension provide you more than you want to live on or not? Nope. No. Oh, Jesus. Nowhere near. Bloody hell. I've probably had about 200 people say no so far. I've literally never seen my screen go that fast. Matt is saying no, and I'm paying a lot in. Tony saying I've got a pot of 150k. So no. Oh, Jackie, Jesus, 300 quid a year. Good luck with that. That's £6 a week. Yeah. Anthony, 1,280 per month is the current estimate. Absolute garbage. Well, Anthony, bear with me. That is bloody hell, honestly, and although I've done a lot of webinars, I have never seen that level of response. So this is really important to people. And I know it's really important to almost everybody on this call. So my question to you, my friends, is what are you going to do about it? Are you prepared to do something to change your future? Because all of us want to be able to retire. When is our health going to not be what we want it to be? When are we going to get made redundant? When will we just get fed up working? You know, whatever. So I'm not saying you will retire, as in do nothing, but I'm just saying that all of us, natural human, Martin, sell my body. Well, okay, good luck with that, Martin. So hopefully, no, don't sell your body. I don't even sell bits of your body. So, all right. Here we go. So an hour from now, I want you to have decided how much pension you need. I want you to write down what you're going to do, okay? I want you to think hard and think carefully because this is hugely important, huge. So I want you to help build your legacy and decide your next logical step, all right? Warren Buffett, I've said this and you've seen this before, never depend on a single income, make investment to create a second source. Now, what I'm specifically talking about tonight is, yeah, many of you have probably got a day job or a business or something, but I want to help you to develop a second passive income, commercial property. And of course, you can put commercial property into your pension. And I want you to add to those two things a pension you can actually retire on. Does that sound good? Because that's what I'm going to be focused on for the next hour. So I want to introduce you to my dad. Here he is. That's a picture of my dad. That was the last Christmas he was with us, and he passed away at the age of 78. That's about 5 years ago now. Fantastically intelligent guy, huge inspiration to me even till today. So what did my dad do? Well, broadly, he followed the system. He worked hard for 40 years. And I'm sure many people on this call will have done something similar, or they're in the process of doing something similar to what my dad did. So, he worked, did a job for 40 odd years. He was lucky in the sense that he retired at 60 years old, all right? And his pension was $26,000 a year. Now, it's less than most of you were saying that you want to have to live on, but it is more than £2,000 a month. So he was a senior, by the time he retired, he was on over £100,000 a year, even then. So, very bright guy, very good job. So that's about the upper end of what you can do following the system. My dad was exceptionally bright, worked exceptionally hard, and the system rewarded him by paying him £100,000 plus. And bear in mind, we're talking 20 years ago now. So he was well paid by, by the standards that society would have. And that led to him having a pension having a pension on an annual basis of £26,000. So next, I've already said to you, he passed away at 78 years old. So he managed to enjoy that pension for 18 years. So, that's a lot. And I've got to be realistic. That's a lot more than a lot of people get to live on their pension. And it's a good amount of pension because he had his house paid off and everything else. And my mum had a little pension as well. Mum's still with us, so she's still got a little pension. So they did all right. I mean, they could have, a decent lifestyle. And I was fortunate enough to be able to help them. But I'm sure, would you all agree? I'm sure you would agree, but just maybe put yes in the chat box if you agree. That's about the best you can do by following the system and, working hard and paying into that's pretty good, isn't it? I mean, I'm not saying it's good, but I'm saying it's good if you follow the system. Yeah? All right. So I've probably got 20, 30 people saying it's okay or yes. I mean, I'm not pretending it's wonderful. It's not nirvana, but compared to people that have got to get by on the state pension, it's good. Yeah. All right. So I've got people saying, yeah, I understand. Estella's saying it's brilliant by today's standard. Ian, very smart Ian, he's saying he must have put a lot in to get an annuity of 26K. Yes. And his annuity rate, for those of you that are kind of into that sort of stuff, was 5.4%, which is why I've put it there. So I'm going to break down his pension scheme now and what he did with it. And then I'm going to compare it to what I've done. Okay, because that I think is where the real knowledge and the real lesson is for us today. So let's just carry on with what my dad did. So his pension pot was £640,000. How do I know that? Well, he took a 25% tax-free lump sum, and his 25% tax-free lump sum was £160,000. So if he took £160,000 tax-free, logically, his 100% pot that he started with when he retired must have been £640,000. That's a lot more than the average person. The average person, according to the Daily Telegraph a couple of months ago, the average pension pot in the UK is about £108,000. So he got roughly 6 times, he'd managed to save up over his life, roughly 6 times what the average person would save up. Now I want you to do me a little calculation. If he's taken £160,000 tax-free, that means he's got £480,000 in his pension pot, yeah? Is everyone following that? But yeah, so his pension pot at retirement, 640. He's taken 25% as a lump sum, 160. So that leaves £480,000 in his pension pot. And that has been used to purchase an annuity. And if he's getting £26,000 a year, how many years does he have to live to get his own money back? Is everyone following that calculation I'm doing? Paul, 18, 19, correct. Because all you've got to do is divide £480,000 by 26,000, that's what he's getting. How long so that's called an actuarial calculation. At what age did my dad die? 78, 18.46, on the nose, Ian. He lived to within a few weeks of what the actuaries expected him to do, which is good because that's what their job is. But that means the company that took his annuity took the £480,000 and effectively they just gave him his own money back. You following me? So he hasn't actually got any interest at all during his entire retirement. They've just given him his own money back. Barclays Wealth lost him 50% of his lump sum. So he took his £160,000. The guy from Barclays Wealth came around, told him to put it all into Barclays shares, and he lost £80,000 on Barclays shares within 6 months. Told me what he'd done, and then I kind of tried to fix it afterwards. But you know, if it had told me earlier, it would have been better. So that's what Barclays Wealth did to him, because my dad wasn't used to having big lump sums of cash. So he thinks the nice wealth advisor man from the bank is looking after him. But what the nice wealth advisor man was doing, you know, filling all these forms in, was working out how to get commission selling in Barclays shares. My dad's then lost £80,000. My dad's not a stock sharer. He'd never had shares in his life. And his head was turned by this guy turning up telling, oh, Mr. Smith, you're a very wealthy man and blah, 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 blah. And my mum now gets half because my dad's passed away. So instead of 26 grand, my mum gets 13, all right? So she still gets by and she's got her own little pension and I can help her and, you know, it's all fine. So I'm not saying my mum's skint or anything, she's not. But if she was relying on just that, that would be getting a bit tight, wouldn't it? And when my mum dies, the pension's gone. So the system has turned my dad's life savings of £640,000 into nothing, all because he followed the system and died. And that's what's going to happen. That's why I'm calling it a scam. Okay. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that's what's going to happen if you follow the system. And that's good compared to what most people's going to happen. Okay. So what did I do? What I did is I used my pension. Initially, I had a SIPP, a self-invested personal pension, and I bought a shop and the stock room above it. And I did that when I was 40. I'm now 55. So this was 15 years ago. Okay, so my dad saw me do this. Okay, so I was 40 years old and I set up a SIPP. And that SIPP, Nav's saying astounding information. Well, I'm just sharing what's going to happen, Nav. And this isn't theory, this is real. I'm giving you, you know, pound for pound, what I've done, what my dad did. But more importantly, at the end of this, is what you can do, all right? So I hope you're finding this interesting so far. So I set up a SIPP and it cost me, I've still got the invoices, £7,920 to set it up, okay? Now, my previous pension schemes, because I'd worked for Cadbury's, Whitbread, Coca-Cola, people like this, So if I added them all together, when I was 60, because you get a write this down as well. If you've got like frozen pensions from previous employers, you will get a pension statement every year from each of them telling you what you will get when you retire. Now, all of the different schemes have got different retirement ages. Mine happened to be all 60 because they were kind of management ones. So my previous pension schemes would have given me £8,000 a year when I hit the age of 60. Well, I asked for a transfer value. So I said, look, I will manage my own money. And they gave me, so there's various schemes, won't give to me, they transferred to my SIPP, my self-invested personal pension, £396,000. So someone, I've forgotten who it was, said that they're only going to get £1,200 a month, which was rubbish. Well, £1,200 a month is £14,000 a year. That's nearly twice what I would have been getting. So if you're getting £1,200 a month, the likelihood is that your transfer value is going to be £700,000-800,000. So next thing I want you to write down is request transfer value. So you'll need to write to each. Glenn is saying, could you tell me if it's still possible? Absolutely, Glenn. I helped Abby do this a few weeks ago. So Abby's our managing director. So you can still do this. So you need to write to your current pension provider, whoever that is. So most of us will have a pension through work, I guess, or whatever, but wherever you've got your pension from, and it's not where you work now, it could have been over the years. Andrew is asking, was I on a final salary scheme? Kind of. I had 3 different pension schemes that I cashed in. 2 of them were money purchase and one was defined benefit. So one was a final salary scheme and the other 2 weren't. Okay. So I'll do the questions at the end, if that's all right, because I just want to share with people what's possible and how you do this. So is that okay? Can I do questions at the end, if that's all right? So my transfer value was £396,000. Shop was on the market for 375, and that got me the shop plus the stock room. Well, I got a commercial surveyor in to negotiate the deal, and we split the title for the shop and the stock room. My SIPP, my pension, purchased the shop for 249,000, but that's cash, isn't it? Because it's got 396 in it. So I took 249 of it, and I bought the shop. And then my SIPP, my pension, and Aniko, my wife's pension, Aniko's pension, we went 50-50 on the stock room that we then turned into offices. So the lesson I want, well, many lessons on this page. I gave up my £8,000 a year when I was 60, so that was 20 years ahead. I got £396,000 straight away into my pension scheme at the age of 40 instead, that I could then start to use to invest in property. I bought a shop with some of my money, and then me and Aniko, with a little bit of each of our money, bought another property. So there's all sorts of lessons as to what you can do there. So what was the result of all that? Well, the commercial surveyor negotiated the total purchase to 288 instead of 375. So my surveyor, Gregor, who I've been working with for 15 years now, helped me save £87,000 on the purchase price. We did together a 10-year FRI, full repair and insure and lease to shelter. So we don't have to pay for anything. If the building falls down, they've got to rebuild it. It's just the way that commercial leases are. So we're not responsible for anything. So they've paid, well, more than that now, but initially they were paying £25,000 a year. So just think about that. I've used some of my money at the age of 40 to generate £25,000 a year in a shop, instead of waiting another 20 years to use all of my money plus the interest to generate £8,000. That's interesting, isn't it? I then got planning permission on the stock room to turn it into offices. We did the office conversion, 15 grand. We then let the offices to one of our own companies, and our company pays our SIPs £6,000 a year. So our total income for the 2 of us is 25 grand for the shop on day 1, more now, but that's what it was then. So 25 plus 6, £31,000. So there's no corporation tax for our companies because the rent is a cost. The pension pays no tax. So the combined income is £31,000 a year for our SIPs immediately, 20 years earlier. So I surrendered an £8,000 pension at the age of 60, so 20 years earlier, to achieve this. So now let's look at how we roll that forward. The total, so I'll make it just my SIP now. because we're 50-50 on the office. So I'm going to take out the bit of the income that goes to Aniko's SIPP. So this is just what comes to my pension. I don't want to confuse you too much, but over the years, we've changed our SIPPs into a SAS. So I now have a small self-administered scheme with Aniko as opposed to one each. All right. So the cash in my SIPP, I've bought the shop for 249. I've bought half the office, but if I do the calculations, I've still got 135 grand left in my SIPP. 4 years later, I'd saved up my £28,000 a year, plus my £135,000, and 4 years later, so at the age of 44 now, I bought another shop, another £250,000. Can you see how that works? So I'm taking the rent, the income from my SIPP, you know, the shop and the office. I'm adding the cash to it, so it takes me 4 years to save up £250,000 and go and buy another one. So my income now doubles to £56,000. So at the age of 44, my pension income, I can't have it because I'm too young at that age, but my pension income now goes to 56,000. Yeah. But the pension's still paying no tax. If I'm earning £56,000 a year from my two shops, well, 5 years later, I've got another £250,000. So I can pull in another shop. So I'm 49 by now. So if I keep doing that, by the age of 55 now, I've got 1,055,000, which is the limit in there. Can you see how this is happening? I'm just saving the money up and buying more. They're not all shops. I've got some offices, factories, this sorts of thing. Well, the point is, I'm using my pension, just the cash flow from it, tax-free, before I retire, to buy more stuff. And that keeps compounding tax-free. So by the time I'm 55, I've maxed my pension scheme. And as of a few weeks ago, I've got this 125,000 pension pot. All right. So that is as simple as it is. So Gary is saying, don't you pay tax on your pension when you draw it? Yes, I do. But it doesn't affect the £1,055,000. That's locked in my pension. It's locked in my SAS. My SAS is a trust, so I don't pay inheritance tax on it. Okay, so yes, I've got to pay tax on the 10 grand a month, but I don't have to pay tax on anything that's still in the pension. So Sharon is saying, is it only commercial property you can buy into a SIPP or buy to lets too? No, Sharon, it's only commercial. So what I teach people to do, what I show people how to do, is put commercial property into their pension schemes. All right. So Andrew is saying, what happens to the rental income once the pension is matched? Well, there's ways of managing it. That's what one of the reasons we moved it to a SAS, because, for instance, you can give £3.5 grand a year to your kids and this and that and the other thing. So there's ways you can manage it, but effectively you pay tax on it. Unless you manage it, you pay tax on it is a better answer. Okay, so I gave up. So just to remind you, I gave up an £8,000 final salary scheme that would have died with me at 60. And instead of that, I've got £1 million in assets and 125 grand a year pension. Now that, my friends, is insane. Do you agree that that was worth me spending £7,920 to set up a SIPP? Just a bit. So who thinks yes? Paul is saying totally insane. It is totally insane. But I can't even count those. Yeah, man. My goodness, no brainer. Defo, excellent, mind blowing, unreal, every day. Sorry, going too fast. I can't read them. My eyes are going funny. Okay. All right, so questions at the end. Well, Peter, why don't they teach this in universities or primary schools, Peter? I don't know. I mean, yeah, no one on this webinar will ever have been taught this in any form, I don't think, of, you know, like normal system type education. So, all right, let's carry on. So now I want to try and do a one-page comparison. Holy F beep beep. Yes, indeed, Neil. So yeah. All right, so let's just do a comparison of what I did and what my dad did. And this isn't in any way, shape or form to belittle what my dad did. My dad was, you know, he was big into following the system, following the rules, being part of society. He was much more of a conformist than I am. All right. So when my dad started drawing his pension and managing it himself, he had £640,000. That's what his scheme was worth at the age of 60 when he took control. What did he do when he took control? He took his £160,000 lump sum, which he lost half of, more or less immediately, and then the rest dies with him, or dies with my mum, more specifically. For me, when I took control at the age of 40, my pension pot was worth 396. Get a camera or something, because I want you to take a picture. Get your phone out or something, because I want you to take a picture of this. If you just remember this slide from this webinar, I think this will give you all the motivation that you need to do something about it. My dad's annual pension when he retired was £26,000. Mine at 60, mine is 125 at 55. So I've got 5 times more pension than him, roughly, 5 years earlier, starting with £200,000 less. Yeah, hopefully this is a powerful comparison. My pension, so what's the value of the pension fund at death? Well, when my dad died and my mum dies, his pension pot is worth nothing. Mine is worth £1,055,000. So my dad, in terms of wealth, pass on to the kids and whatever else, nothing. Me, £1 million. Inheritance tax liability for both of us for different reasons is nothing. But my dad's inheritance tax liability, sadly, I'm not laughing at you, Dad. My dad's inheritance tax liability was nothing because the value of the fund was nothing. My inheritance tax liability will also be nothing on my £1 million because it's in a SSAS, which is a trust. Okay, so wealth for future generations. My dad's, sadly, nothing. Oh, sorry, typo. Mine's not 1,040,000. I've done it. That's the old limit. I should have changed that to 1,055,000. Sorry about that, everybody. So, did I follow the system? And did my dad follow the system? Well, yeah, my dad followed the system and he got scammed. I am not following the system because I'm not going to get scammed. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So I've got an error on there. My wealth for future generations is not 1,040,000. It's 1,055,000. Sorry about that. So take a picture of that. But I mean, would you agree? That's just let me know in the chat box. Is that a powerful comparison? Is that worth knowing? I mean, yeah, it is, isn't it? So I'm almighty. Yes, and yeah. Yes, it's shocking. It is. So I'm blown away. I need more information. Very powerful, Paul. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing this painful stuff. It's not painful. It's okay. Yeah. Very enlightening. Okay. It's annoying. Is a SSAS hard to set up? I'm gonna tell you that in the next half hour. Ian, is this commercial property only? Yes. Well, no, it's not commercial property only. You can do stocks and shares. You can do precious metals. I do commercial property. Gavin is saying he would have been proud. Thank you, Gavin. I'm sure he would. Yeah. All right. Okay. So I'm going to move on now because I've got a load of stuff to share with you. Mo is saying, is it too late to start at 53? No. Yeah, so let's keep going because I want to show you how to do it and why you should do it. But there it is. So we've got more people joining us all the time and no one's leaving. I'm not bloody surprised. Okay, so I want you to learn how to do commercial property and put commercial property into your pension fund. All right. So I want to give you a professional support pack because to do this properly, you're going to need one-to-one consultations with commercial surveyors, with commercial finance brokers, with commercial solicitors, and obviously pension advisors. I also want to give you my essential legal library so you can do this too with commercial leases, joint venture agreements and all the examples. And I want to give you a live whole day recording that I did of all loads of commercial deals because you need to know what deals are good and what deals are bad. What kind of property should I buy? What kind of property should I not buy? And it's never too early to start and it's never too late to start. I'm going to cover all that very, very shortly as well. The total value of what I want to give you, so come and do some training with me. I want to give you some extra bits and pieces valued at 2890, but more of that in like half an hour's time. So if you want to invest in a pension, what do you need to know? You need to understand how to get transfer value. You need to understand SIPPs or SSAS or both. You need to understand tax, inheritance tax, pension tax, all that stuff. And you need to know about commercial property. So I'm sure you'd agree you need to know about all that stuff if you want to get if you want to sort yourself out with a pension that's going to keep you in, nicely when you retire. So I want you to ask yourself this question: is it worth the effort? And I want to show you an example of what Abby did, and then you tell me if it's worth the effort. So here's Abby and her SIPP. Abby had a pension from her previous employer. She was very sad about it. Here is a picture of Abby being sad. She was sad about it. We were talking about it. We talked about it for 2.5 years before she did anything about it. So Abby, like early 30s, she's done something about it now. So Abby had a pension from her previous employer, which made her very sad. Specifically, when I asked her to find out how much money she was going to get, she used to work for BT before she came to work with us here at Touchstone. She was going to get £20 a week at 67 years old. And that was the face that she pulled when she found out about that. You would be pulling a face like that, wouldn't you, if it was 20 quid a week? So she set up in a SIPP in 8 weeks. Now, most people, when they set up SIPP, spend thousands of pounds. I spent 7.5 grand. Most people would spend £5,000, but you can see what you can do for kind of an investment of the £5,000 level. So who thinks it's worth 5 grand to set up a SIPP or a SAS? Just put yes or no if you think it's worth setting up a SIPP or a SAS, 5 grand. So I've got, yeah, me, yes. Bloody hell, woof. That was 50 people just put yes at the same time. Well, if you get results like I got, then absolutely, 100% of course. All right. So she's then transferred in £30,000 from her BT pension. Okay. So I just want to show you what she's then done next. Okay. So just hold that figure in your head and just write it down, £5,000 to set up a SIPP. So the transfer value is £30,000 and she's transferred that in. She's done it all. And she did all this in 8 weeks. So she's now happy and she's off property shopping. So we're actually viewing a property together on Thursday. So in 2 days' time, I'm off. Because I know a load of you will want to know about it, we're actually taking the video cameras with us. And so Anna and Rebecca are going to be video recording us and we'll share that video. So that'll be me and Abby out property shopping because we thought, that'd be a nice little thing to do so people can see us in, doing it for real as opposed to theory. So this is a happy Abby with a little daughter and a cat that appeared from somewhere. So that's what a happy Abby looks like. Danny is asking, is this live? Yes, Danny, it's live, which I just hopefully proved by answering your question live. All right, so Abby and her SIPP. So she's got £30,000. She's a 40% taxpayer. So follow this. She's going to pay in £12,000 extra, which will allow her to recover £8,000 in tax. Did you know you could do that? So she's got 30K. She's going to put 12 more K in, pull back the tax that she's paid on that and the national insurance. So that means she'll have £50,000. Now, you may or may not know this. Write it down if you didn't. The SIPP can borrow. So she's got £50,000 in there as soon as she's done that. The SIPP can borrow 50% of its value. So not her, the SIPP, the pension can get a mortgage. So that means her property shopping budget is £75,000. So she's then going to use the income from other properties she's got to replace that £12,000 of salary via dividend. Now, it's a different topic for a different day, but the first £2,000 is tax-free, and then she's got to pay 7.5% dividend tax instead of 40% income tax. So the whole tax thing is very, very important. So John is saying, no, I didn't know that. Thank you. Well, thank you, John. Good. But you can't get anything for £75,000, can you? Gary, how's it work for lower rate taxpayers? Gary, you would get 23% back because you would get your tax back, plus you would get your national insurance back. Neil, is this being recorded? I'm at the gym and my battery is about to go. Oh no, well, stop whatever you're doing and get plugged in. So you can't get anything for £75,000, or can you? Well, here's the sort of stuff that we're going to be going to look at. So she's got 75 grand as a budget. Well, here's an office in Grimsby for £70,000. There's the back of it, very neat and tidy, isn't it? Now, if the tenant ever left, I always wanted to have an exit, that could get converted back to a house, couldn't it? So where are we? It's tenanted for £6,400 a year. So Abby can put that money in now and get £6,400 a year. Imagine how much money is going to be in her pension pot by the time she retires if she just keeps compounding that. So I'm getting a load of questions about transfer value. The £20 a week is equivalent to a transfer value of £30,000. All right, so, and people are asking me, can you still do this now? For Christ's sake, we're doing this on Thursday. So yes, you can still do it now. So this is a 10-year lease with this customer, with this client, from February 2017. So that means there will be no change of tenant, not even a discussion about a new tenancy with anybody until 2027. Where are we now? 2019. That's another 8 years that Abby's got guaranteed rent coming in from that property if she buys it. So that's the sort of property we're going to be looking at as on Thursday. So pension investing, you need knowledge of transfer values, SIPP, SSAS. You need to understand tax. You need to understand commercial property. Will you make the effort? So just put a yes in the chat box if you're going to make an effort to do this for yourself. Who can be bothered? Yes or no? Wow. Sorry, I'm just drinking my strawberry and kiwi water at this end. That's a lot of people saying yes. All right. But you know it's probably going to cost £5,000, don't you? Because you got, that's what most people are going to pay, except their pensions. Yes, says Vanessa, I'm spending hubby's pension. All right, fair enough. All right, so I want to share with you the rule of 72 and your pension. Then I want to show you some deals, and then I want to show you what to do next. So the rule of 72. Is commercial property better than a state or company pension? Well, people born today, babies, are not going to get a state pension to the age of 77. Their children will be 85. Life expectancy is 21 years longer than state pensions are predicted to pay out. The state pension is probably not going to be around for very long. A £100,000 pension pot only pays out £74 a week. Now, where did I get all of that stuff from? Well, that's from HSBC and PricewaterhouseCoopers. That's just a straight lift from them. Okay, so the rule of 72, compound interest. Here we go. What is the rule of 72 and how will it help you become wealthy? It's this. You want to take a screenshot of this maybe. The most important and simple rule of financial success can be easily discovered by knowing the rule of 72. And I learned this years and years and years ago. Here it is. The time it will take for an investment or debt to double in value given the interest rate using compounding interest. If you take 72 and divide it by the interest rate, and that equals the years it will take to double the investment or the debt. So if it was 1% and you're getting 1% interest a year, it's going to take you 72 years to double the value of the pension pot, or 72 years to double the value of the loan. Now, why is that interesting or useful for commercial properties and pensions in particular? Well, let me show you a little table. At 3%, 72 divided by 3 is 24. So 3% is typical buy-to-let returns. So if you go and buy buy-to-let properties, you will typically get 3% returns. So if you put in £10,000 and just keep receiving the rent, on average, it's going to take 24 years for you to double your money at 3%. But it's still, by 24 years' time, your 10 will have become 20, and another 24 years' time, you'll double it again, and your 20 will become 40. 6% is, a bloody good rate of interest, and many people will be happy to be earning 6% rate of interest. Well, at 6%, 72 divided by 6 is 12. Okay, you're following that? Rule of 72. 72, remember your 12 times table, remember your 6 times table, remember your 3 times table. 72 divided by 6 is 12. So you start off with £10,000 at 6% rate of interest. By year 12, it'll be double, £20,000. By year 24, it will have doubled again, £40,000. By year 36, it will have doubled again, £80,000. By year 48, it will have doubled again, £160,000. That's impressive, isn't it? So just imagine you found something that was twice as profitable, as buy-to-let. Instead of having £40,000 of return over 48 years, you'll have £160,000. But at 12%, which is the typical return that I get on commercial property, easily you can get 10, 12% returns on commercial property if you buy the right one, you know what you're doing. Then at 12% returns, that's going to earn you every 6 years. So 12%, so 12% interest, so 72 divided by 12 is 6. So after just 6 years, it's 20. After 12 years, it's 40. After 18 years, it's 80. After 24 years, it's 160. After 30 years, it's 320. After 36 years, it's 640. After 42 years, it's 1.2 million. After 48 years, it is 2.5 million. Look at that. That is the difference between doing sod all with your money, no interest, and putting it into commercial property in a pension, because that compound interest is tax free. tax-free. Sharon saying, what about running expenses? What running expenses, Sharon? There are none. The tenant pays everything. Full repairing and insuring lease. They pay the insurance, they pay the maintenance. There's no voids because they're in there for years at a time. What running expenses? There aren't any. Your gross is your net. Yeah, loves it, says Sharon. Happy days. So has everyone got the rule of 72? Divide 72 by the interest rate and it will make you massively rich if you're 10-12%, because it's going to double in value every 6 years or so. Gary's saying, awesome. Do we all like this? Do we all like this? Do we all like it? Do we like it? Do we like it? Yeah. You're asking me questions. I'll do that at the end. Is that all right? Sachin is saying, how do we get 12%? You invest in commercial property, Sachin. That's what I'm saying. Commercial property will often, I'm going to show you loads of examples in a second, how you get 12% or more. Okay. So your target is to learn how to do commercial property such that you get 10 or 12%. Sachin saying, oops, thanks. All right. Aaron, liking this. Good. Commercial property and pensions combined, powerful strategy. So 10%, I'm going to say 10%. Let's not go mad. 10% is going to double your pension fund value every 7.2 years, yeah? So the 72 divided by 10 is 7.2. So call it roughly 7. So your pension fund is going to double in value every 7.2 years. Now follow this. Please follow this for the next 5 minutes. I know many of you, you're saying your brains have melted and it's leaked out your ears. But this is really worth the effort to understand, because this is either going to give you a comfortable retirement with no worries, or you're going to be cold and hungry. So please focus on this. Yes, of course, you need to do things. You need to make investment. You need to make effort. You need to learn stuff. I can promise you this, if you don't learn this stuff, no one is going to do it for you. You are going to be a victim of the system. You are going to get sucked into the pension scam like 99.9% of the population, just like my dad did. Okay, so focus for the next few minutes. 72 divided by 10% means you double your value every 7.2 years. Let's call it 7. All right, let's go over here. So you put £31,000 into a SIPP or a SSAS at the age of 20. Okay, it will double in value by the time that you're 27, so that'll go to £62,000. Look where this is going. Bosh, 125 by the time you're 34. Birth, £250,000 by the time you're 41. Ouch, £500,000 by the time you're 48. Bingo, £1 million, the pension limit by the time you're 55. So all you need to do, dependent on whatever age you are now, is put in that amount of money at whatever, so if you had 125 grand at the age of 34, all you need to do is find 10% return on it. And by the age of 55, you'll have £1 million. Now, don't panic if you don't have that amount of money. But I've had various younger people on here that are saying, is it too early to start at the age of 30 or whatever? No, it's not. But the earlier you start, the cheaper it's going to be. Okay. But surely, Paul, you can't buy anything for £31,250, or can you? Or do you think I might have anticipated that question? How about this? How about that block of garages? Not the houses, the garages underneath. You can put them in your pension fund. So they went to auction and they sold for £32,000. So the guide price on that, £32,000 is what they sold for. 8 garages, £8.53 a week. So that's £68.24 a week, which is £3,548 per annum, which is 11% yield. And yes, if you're older, I'm going to have to show you how to do some flips. I'm going to have to show you how to build a capital sum. So I can show you how to build capital sums, whatever age you are. And don't forget Colonel Saunders, Kentucky Fried Chicken. He didn't even get his first break in life until he was 66. I don't care what age you are. So Anthony's saying, Paul, I'm 38. I've got roughly 100 grand in my pension. Is that good to get started? Yes. Go back to my table. Where was it? There. So you are 38. So let's say you were 34 and you start with 100 grand. So you'd be about 60 probably by the time you max it, Anthony. I've got Peter, who's 72. Well done, Peter. Growing old is a pleasure that's denied to many. So well done you, my friend. It is never too late. The best day to start is 20 years ago. The second best day is today. All right. So let's move on. Let's have a look at some of our students' deals. Okay. So Andrew is saying, I don't think this is live. Oh, Andrew, what's your second name? Put it in the question box and I'll tell you what your second name is. I'll read it back to you. Why don't you think it's live? And by the way, Andrew, why does that matter? Why do I keep asking? Why do people keep asking me if it's live? Put yes or no if you care whether it's live or not. Do you care about retiring on a decent pension, or do you care about whether this sodding webinar is live or not? I can't believe some people. Why does it matter? They're probably flat earthers. I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm trying to help you in your retirement, and that's now the third person that's asked me if it's live. Why does it matter? Anyway, I'm not going to let that distract me anymore. I'm just going to keep going if that's all right. I want to make you rich, live or not. So here are some deals that some of our students have done with £100,000. Not just one deal, there's two deals. I want to show you. Keep going. Thank you. I'm not really upset. I'm just finding it hard to believe that some people care more about whether it's live or not than they care about their pension when they retire. So I just boggles the mind. Whatever. Anyway, our students, people that have done courses with us, have recently done this. I'm going to show you a couple of deals. So not one deal, 2 for 1 in this case. Two deals, both with a total of 100k cash deposits required. Now, a lot of you are saying, well, you know, what if I've only got 10 grand or 20 grand or no grand? I'm going to share with you a fantastic guy called Jamie. But I'm going to play you a video shortly. So part of the course, part of what I'll teach you to do is raise money, okay? You can then use that to build ridiculous wealth very, very quickly. So two deals, both with 100k cash deposits. Here's deal one. Freehold, 179k purchase price. It's a hunting, shooting, fishing shop that's closing there. So what they've done here is they've used what they've learned on the course. They've put in a purchase option, 10% deposit, £17,000. They've used that time to get planning permission to change the use to A5. It was A1 shop, change it to A5, teach all this on the course. So they then leased it, which is a takeaway, to Chop and Wok, which is like, you know, as the name suggests, it's an Asian takeaway type concept. Brand new, 10-year, full repair and insurance lease, £19,000 a year income. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. And incredible, £135,000 purchase at auction. This is the second deal. This was in August this year, so last month. Purpose-built office, £37,700 an annum, 10-year lease, no break. So that's £37,000 of income purchased for 135 grand. So they used £100,000 to do this. So the combined price was £314,000. They took a mortgage of £214,000. You don't have to do this inside your pension. In fact, there's many reasons why you might want to buy it outside your pension first and then move it into your pension afterwards. So I'm getting asked, what's the difference between A1 and A5? They're just planning use classes. One's a shop and the other's a takeaway. So the combined income is £56,000. 15-year repayment mortgage at 4%, £19,000. So your net cash flow after all costs is £36,740 these students have got on these two deals. Just, you know, come and do the course, do deals like this. So they've invested £100,000, £36,000 back on it. That's 36.7%. Now use the rule of 72. They double the value every 2 years on that money. This is just crackpot type returns. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. And I want you doing deals like this too. So listen to this. This is what Jamie did. So Jamie had very, very little money in his pension or anywhere else, got together with another person that's done the course, and here's what they've done together. So here's what Jamie did. Listen up.
So Jamie, your background, how long have you been a property investor for?
I have been into property in one way or another, probably for around about 4 years, 4.5 years. Stuff with residential.
Residential, all right. And how long have you been involved in commercial property?
Actually, relatively recently, probably the last 4 or 5 months, really.
In the last 2 months, how much commercial property have you bought?
We have bought or are in the process of buying 4 different commercial properties of various sizes and values, different types, office, retail, some development stuff. And the value, we think somewhere in the region, purchase value, somewhere in the region of 1.1, 1.2 billion.
How much of your own cash have you used to make that happen?
Actual hard cash that I've put in, or we've put in of our own, is around about, probably at the moment, around about 60, 65,000.
2 questions really. What's the projected rent roll? How much are you expecting to make per year or per month or whatever? And what do you reckon the GDV, the gross development value of those projects is going to be?
At present, we're probably looking at a gross rental income across those 4 of somewhere between 140 to 170,000 a year across the 4 of them. And the actual end value, if everything was to go to plan, we could realistically say 2.2, 2.3 million.
The 1.1, 1.2 million will become double in terms of valuation.
Yes.
That's a smile, isn't it? That's a Scottish smile. We're talking about doubling your money. That's a Scottish smile. And the rent roll of around about the 140, 150 level, you said 140, 150,000 a year, something like that.
That's right, yeah.
For £60,000 of your own money, that's just insane, isn't it?
So for everybody out there that's thinking, I've not got much money, part of what I can teach you to do is raise money from other people. So for £60,000 of his own money, he's going to end up with £2 million worth of commercial property in 4.5 months, generating an income of £150,000. Who likes the idea of £150,000 of cash flow in 4.5 months' time? Just put a yes in the box if you like the idea of that. I know it can be done, and I can introduce you to Jamie and his business partner. So this isn't theory. I'm just telling you what they've done. Come on the course, you can meet them, and I can give you all the, they'll talk to you. There's plenty of students that have done this. It's an absolute pleasure to work with people like that. Now, I'm not promising that you'll get that. I'm just saying it's possible. But even if over the next 10 years, you got to a point where you were bringing in 50,000 a year, 100,000 a year, that's still pretty good. And it's massively better. That's what's going to happen. Massively better than what's going to happen if you don't do anything. Because what's going to happen if you don't do anything is the system is going to steal all your money. They're going to put you on some pathetic annuity. And it's, and when you die, all your money's gone. It's gone. Okay, so someone offers you an amazing opportunity, you're not sure you can do it, Richard Branson, say yes, and then learn how to do it later. Are those deals an amazing opportunity? I think they are. It's your business, it's your future. If you enjoyed what you've seen so far and you want to do this too, then I want to play you a short video of people that have done my commercial portfolio builder course with me to, they don't all put it into their pensions, because people will sometimes do the commercial course because they just want to build a commercial portfolio. But I specifically want to share with you how to put commercial property inside your pension. But you can have it outside your pension as well. That's what you want to do. So they say that you can do this. Have a listen.
I'm George.
I'm Sarah. We've been working with Touchstone since June.
Yeah, I'm so glad we went on the course because we're already buy-to-let landlords and we've been landlords for a number of years. But everything about commercial is completely topsy-turvy. So
yeah,
so
really different.
So glad we did the course because we could never have done it on our own.
Hi everyone, my name is Manesh. I'm currently on the second day of the commercial portfolio course with Paul. I'm finding it very, very interesting. A whole lot of information with regards to no money down aspects of buying commercial property. I myself have had a recent experience where using what I've learned from Paul, I've managed to save in the region of £400,000 from capital allowances for my business, which I'm very, very happy about. And I would strongly recommend the course for beginners and for people who have already got commercial property, just because there's lots of ins and outs which can save a lot of money from a tax perspective and generally enjoy commercial property without having any hassles of going to banks to get money.
We're buying a commercial property at the moment. We're just very early stages. of commercial property with two tenants in it, paying a very good amount of rent, 10% return a year. Very excited by that, and we've been pretty hands off. Once you bought it, you can just sit back and receive cash. So we're really pleased with that.
Yeah, thank you, Paul.
Thank you, George and Sarah. And you saw Manish in the middle there as well.
I'm George.
And Manish is a dentist, and he was able to use what he learned on the course to get huge tax breaks called capital allowances, which I can tell you all about that as well. The 7-step system that I need to take you through to teach you how to deal with commercial property inside and outside your pension scheme is this. How do you acquire the property? How do you sort the leases out? How do you control the properties before you buy them? When you buy them, what do you hold them in? Are you going to hold them in your pension? If so, is it a SIPP or a SSAS? Should you use a limited company? Should you use an LLP? How much equity can you leverage out of those properties, and what should you do with it? What do you need? Who do you need in your mastermind, and how are you going to build your legacy? So alchemy is the ancient art of turning base metal into gold. What I want to share with you is how to change base, valueless commercial properties into golden pension tickets. I want to make sure you've got this professional support pack, your one-to-one consultations with the pension advisor, the solicitors, and all the rest, your essential legal library, and the full-day recording of me. What's the investment? Well, the Commercial Portfolio Builder, the investment on the 2-day course and all the bits and pieces that I'm going to be sharing with you is £4,500. And what I'm just about to do is I'm going to put up a link. Here it is. You can click on that link and you can get yourself booked on to the very next course. And so that in just a few weeks' time, what you can be doing is, I can see people have started to click on it. It's got all the details on there. You can get the full benefit of everything that I'm talking about. And I'm actually giving extra bonuses to anyone that signs up tonight, to everyone that signs up tonight. And I'm not going to charge you the full £4,500. I'm going to give you a discount on that, and I'm going to give you some extra bonuses too. So I'll show you exactly what that is, but you can jump on while you're listening to me, and you can just consider over the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whether you want to take advantage of what I'm offering to you. And then I'm going to go to a Q&A. All right, so now you need to decide how much pension you need. So just review your notes. You started off by telling me, or not telling me, you're telling yourself, how much pension you need to live on. I want you to write down what you're going to do about it. Are you going to set up a SIPP or a SSAS? Are you going to give somebody £5,000 plus to set up a SIPP or a SSAS for you and not have any of the knowledge about how to build a commercial portfolio, not know the ins and outs of whether you should have a SIPP or a SSAS? Or maybe you should even leave it in your current workplace pension scheme. I've never seen figures that made sense, but it's theoretically possible. So what are you going to do about it? So I want you to think carefully. This is your future that we're talking about. Now, I don't care what age you are. You might be 25, you might be 75. All of us need a pension to care for us when we can't work anymore. Because Warren Buffett, you don't work out to make money while you sleep. You're going to work until you die. So what is it you're going to do to make money while you sleep and build your legacy? So how much pension do you need? Is your current pension arrangement going to give you that? Because if it does, well, switch this off now, because you don't need my help. If, on the other hand, you want to build a bigger pension pot, maybe you've already retired and you want some extra pension money. Maybe you're not anywhere near retirement age, but you just want the security and the knowledge that you're going to be fine when you retire. So, maybe you can look after your kids as well as you, because you can take the next logical step. That's your business, it's your future. I want to work with you to build your pension and your commercial property portfolio. That's why we call it the Commercial Portfolio Builder, 2 full days with me. I want you to stop wasting your time with people who waste theirs. 99% of the population are not going to do this. Most people on this webinar, sadly, are not going to do this. Why? Because they're going to put their faith in the system. They're going to trust, sadly, like my dad did, that the state, the system is going to look after them. In my experience, I can talk with some relevance, I think, about experience at the age of 55. I've got some life experience. I've got a huge respect for people with more life experience than me. But I can talk with some experience. I've seen plenty of people retire now, and the system fails most people. You need the 7-step alchemy system. You need that professional support pack. It's your business, it's your future. You can book your place right here and right now. I finished the last course just last Thursday here in Doncaster. I've got the 15th and 16th of October in London. I've only got 3 places left on that one. The 4th and 5th of November is in Doncaster, and I've got 12 places left. So I've got 15 places left this year. So get in quick. I've got 23 people have so far clicked on the order form. I can see on my screen in front of me. But not everybody's going to go and buy it. They just click in, they're having a look. But if you're serious about doing this, click on that link, get to your place, and get yourself on the Commercial Portfolio Builder. And if neither of those dates are any good to you, I will honour the price, the offer that I'm offering tonight on any date next year. And I'll do at least 12 Commercial Portfolio Builder courses next year. So, but don't wait till next year. Clear your diary on the 15th, 16th of October or the 4th, 5th of November, and let's get you started, because every month you wait is another month of lost benefit in your pension fund. So just go, 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 go. Commercial Portfolio Builder can put you on a beach literally for the rest of your life from the age of 55 onwards. Doesn't matter if you're a complete beginner, if you're very experienced. Let's just play some more, one more 2-minute video from people that have been on the course talking about their experiences.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Burliand. I've just finished today the most wonderful course from Touchstone Education. It's called Commercial Club. We've got an existing property business, and I've been in the business for over 30 years. And believe me, we've done a lot of deals over the years, but I have learned huge amounts of what we have done wrong. And I wish I'd done this course about 25 years ago.
My name is Bhavin Thakur. I come to this commercial property building course. I'm an experienced property investor. Coming to this course has opened my eye regarding the commercial properties and all.
My name is Ebo Kimbini. I accidentally got into property business. I didn't know what to do much about it until I came on this course. I enjoyed analyzing how to build on commercial properties, and this course has really changed my view about property business, and I will go back and implement all these things that I've learned.
The knowledge Paul and Aniko has shared is amazing. It will take us to the next level, and today was a deal sourcing session where we are actually checking and analyzing the deals, which is fantastic. And we are more and more confident about it now to go into this commercial journey in future.
It was a very personal course. There weren't that many people on it because you want to give one-to-one to these people. You want interaction with the people, and I like that as well. So yeah, it's great. It's not one of these courses where you have 150 people, you know, you talk to a crowd. There's a lot of interaction between the audience and you, and you get out of it. You told me at the beginning what you put in. So what you said was, if you don't interact, you're not going to get as much out.
Correct.
So yeah, it's a great course. I'd recommend it.
One of the things that stood out was Paul was really amazing in explaining from the very basics of commercial portfolio, and he's just lifted me from where I was to another level, and I'm really looking forward to implementing these things. And to anyone who wants to come on this course, I say, don't just struggle and be on your own. Come on this course, learn, and change your life.
Thank you, everybody. It's bringing back fantastic memories, all the people that I've worked with over the years and all the fantastic things that they've done.
Hello, my name's...
Okay, so it's not about money, it's about choices. You want to get some commercial property and spend it on a Bentley, I don't care, that's up to you. I want to give you the choice of what to do with your money. Many people want to build a pension. You want to get a Bentley, knock yourself out. I'm going to give you a bonus this evening, and it's a bonus you will never have seen before. Even if you've seen me talk about commercial property, even if you've seen me talk about this course, you have never seen the offer I'm about to make. Why? Because today is the first time that I've ever done it. The investment is £4,500. Go and check it out on our website. That's what most people will normally pay. That's a 2-day workshop covering a 3-step system to buy commercial property, to give you huge long-term secure income, and how to make most or all of your profits tax-free. In addition to that, I want to give you my little black book of contact details and pre-set up one-to-ones with those professional advisors. So the investment, £4,500, £2,800, total value of that, £7,390. One last time, I'm going to remind you on the dates: 15th, 16th of October, London. We've got 3 places left that we did have. We've got a number of people have booked on already. So I think we just got 1 of those places left in London. And the 4th and 5th of November, we did have 12 places left, but again, a number of people have booked on, so don't hang about, just nail one of those dates. Or if you want to come next year, that's fine. I mean, I wouldn't really understand why you would want to come, why you want to delay it until next year. But you know, if you really can't come, grab this offer that I'm making now, and we'll honor that on any future date of your choice. As Warren says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die. Is commercial property, is your pension the way that you're going to make money while you sleep? Don't you owe it to yourself if you're not invested yet? Is money the issue? Are you concerned you can't do it? Well, let's make it 100% safe for you. I'm going to make you a super special offer. Just remind you one last time, Richard Branson, amazing opportunity. Say yes, learn how to do it later. So here's your bonus. Claim your new life today. Book your place. And I will show you, in addition to everything else that I'm going to show you about commercial property, I will show you how to set up your pension for free. I spent more than £7,000. Most people spend more than £5,000. As an additional bonus for people that book on tonight, I'm going to show you how to set up your pension completely for free. So do you want to give £5,000, £6,000, £7,000, £8,000 to a financial advisor for advice on how to set up your pension? Or do you want training on how to set up a pension and commercial property and get the pension set up completely for free, just like Abby did? So here's your special offer, all on one page. If you've got a partner, if you want to make an investment and claim 2 places, well, the way we do it at Touchstone is the second person is always 50% off. You can claim back your VAT, and I'll show you how to do it on the course if you don't know how to do it, if you're not so sure. And I'll also show you how to reclaim the income tax that you'll have paid on the money that you've used to invest in the course. So you're going to get all your VAT back and you're going to get your tax back. And I'm going to let you have everything for just $2,495. So $2,495, make that investment tonight, book on tonight, today, and I'll show you how to set up a personal pension completely for free. So you get all the commercial property training, you'll get all of the contracts, you'll get the one-to-ones with the professionals, with the pension advisor, that, you know, all the things you normally have to pay for, one-to-ones with finance brokers and solicitors and accountants to help you do this. You're getting all of that stuff, included the 2 days training, set up a pension for free, one-to-ones with the professionals, my little black book of contact details, everything that we're talking about for just $2,495. And if there's 2 of you, well, the second person's going to be whatever that is, $1,247.50. So, and by the time you've reclaimed the VAT, and let's say you're a 40% taxpayer, by the time you've reclaimed your 40% tax, your net cost is going to be about 1,600 quid. This is a fraction. This is a pittance versus what it's going to cost you if you don't do this. Or if you decide, well, I'm going to educate myself, I'm going to read books, it's still going to cost you thousands of pounds to set up a SIPP or a SSAS. I'm going to show you, I'm going to share with you trusted suppliers that will do this for you for nothing because of their relationship with us. Because they know that if you invest in yourself, that you're going to go and buy some commercial properties. And yes, they'll get a few £100s a year fees out of you for having those commercial properties, but they're willing to waive the setup costs. They're willing to waive the setup costs. So yes, you've got to pay VAT, 2,495 plus VAT, but I'll show you how to get it back. I'll show you how to reclaim your income tax, 20, 40 or 45%. And so to reiterate, your pension special offer is this. Most people's pensions die with them. Smart people spend £5,000 just to set up their pensions. I spent more than 7. I will train you in commercial property and I will show you how to set up your personal pension for free. All for the very modest cost of 2,495 plus the VAT. 2,495 plus VAT. Take a picture of that. I'm giving you everything I've got. I'm giving you the 2 days training. I'm giving you the personal contacts. I'm giving you one-to-ones. I'm giving you a full day's video of me doing commercial property training. I'm giving you all of that. You know, it's just 2,495. That is if I could wind the clock back, and if I could have my time again, I knew how to do this while my dad was alive. I felt too British to challenge him on it. I should have taken my dad to task. I should have said, look, Dad, I do this professionally. And that is a huge part of why I'm forcing this on you, why I'm ramming it down your throat. It's because my dad didn't do it and I could have helped him. And that is a huge part of my psyche, my makeup as to why I want to help you, because I feel to an extent I let him down. I could have done more for him. And the way that I live my life now is in large part dictated by what I haven't done in the past. That's my void that makes up my values. So I want to help as many people as possible to set up their pensions so that their loved ones enjoy great return while they're alive, and they've got big chunks of cash to pass on to their loved ones when they pass away. So I want to get your money, I want to get your wealth, and I want to help you with your inheritance tax. I want to help you with your wealth planning. I want to help you with your legacy. So book yourself on today, and take advantage of this special offer. So here it is, one last time, all on one page. 2-day workshop with me, the professional support pack, the one-to-ones, the full day recording, the essential legal library, everything for just 2,495 plus the VAT. But I'll show you how to get that back. I'll show you how to reclaim the tax that you've paid to make that investment. Just 2,495. Click on that button, like loads of you have already done. I'm going to go quiet for a minute. I'll shut up for 2 minutes just so you can get your, complete your orders and click away. Now, if your computer is driving you mad, or you've got some crazy security firewall, or like often happens with me, I'm trying to pay for something online on my credit card and it keeps asking me for bloody passwords that I don't know. If you find it easier to talk to someone, we've got 2 of our team have kindly volunteered to stay on late tonight. So you can call Gordy now on 07803 410 237, or Stella on 07522 231 093. She's waiting for your call right now, or Gordy. So I'm just going to go quiet for 2 minutes, and then I'm going to come back for a Q&A, and I will speak to you in 1 or 2 minutes time. All right. So I'm just going to leave you in peace while you decide whether or not you're going to do it, and book yourself in. All right. So just click on the link, get yourself booked. I will be back in 2 minutes, and I'll leave that there just as a reminder of what's included. What do you get for your money? All right, back in 2. So how can I help? There was a load of questions coming through. I've kind of finished. So yeah, I'll start at the bottom and work back up. Oh, Kenny is saying, give me the numbers again. I think you mean the phone numbers, Kenny, do you? So here we go. Gordy and or Stella, would you mind putting your phone numbers into the chat box? If you're not on the phone, you probably are, I suppose. So we've still got hundreds of people on the call. So yeah. Gordy has managed to put his number in. Gordy's good at multitasking. So Yash is saying, when's the Q&A? Now. So, oh, Chris is there as well, or it says it's Chris. That's Stella's number. Okay. All right. So, Gordy's saying, yes, Chris is Stella tonight. Okay, that's confusing me. I don't know whether that means Stella's got Chris's phone, or Stella is signed in as Chris, or what the hell's happening. I don't know. But anyway, there's 2 people. There are 2 people. There's Gordy and Stella, I think, taking your calls. So get on the blower to them. There's the phone numbers. Okay, so question from Imran. Imran, He's saying my dad is 72 and retired, worked hard as a doctor his whole life, but still on a crappy pension now. Sorry. He's got cancer. Oh no, Imran. And my mum passed away this year, so not getting much. Can I set something up like this for him and also for myself and my wife? We're 30 years old. Absolutely, Imran. I'm really sorry to hear that sort of terrible combination of circumstances. So my sympathies to you, my condolences on your mum. But yes, absolutely, you can. And well, if you want my view, I think you should. So get in there and go do it. Okay. Aaron is saying, I asked what would happen if yield exceeds maximum cap before drawdown. Yeah, you can, so Aaron's question is, the current cap is £1,055,000 per person. So what happens if your pension fund, because of the extra money coming in from the shops and offices and whatever, takes it over that cap? Well, you could pay tax on it, or you could, Aaron, do what Annika and myself have done. I would have overfunded my SIPP, so I turned it into a SAS, and then there's rules around how much you can gift to children, relatives, that sort of thing. So we're redistributing, to the extent we're allowed, we're redistributing, sorry, put my teeth back in, redistributing our wealth to the SAS funds of various of our relatives. So there's various tricks you can play, various things you can do. But essentially, if you've played all those cards, well, suck it up. You're going to have to pay tax on the excess. But, you know, if you've got a fully funded SAS and you've got 11 of your family members in it, I've got 6 kids, so that's not hard. Then, you know, you've got 11.5 million-ish that's completely sheltered in a trust for life. So, you know, that's a good thing. Gavin is saying, thank you. Changing lives for good. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Estelle, can you buy commercial property with a pension pot of £31,000 and just about to retire? Yes, Estelle. I showed you those garages, for instance. I think they were £32,000. But don't forget what I also said with regard to Abby. She's borrowing 50% of her fund's value. So if you've got 30K, you could borrow another 15, 16. So you could buy something for 45. Bavesh is saying, do I just need to buy one property and use the compound effect? Or do I need to buy a property every 7.2 years? Yeah, you need to keep reinvesting the cash, Bavesh, because you're not going to get any income on the cash, are you? So you need to keep redeploying the cash back into more property as you get, you know, as your cash flow keeps going up and up. Nancy is saying, hi Paul, can you please tell me when asking for a transfer value, is it always bigger or lower when the transfer is finally made? Okay, Nancy, so when you get a transfer value, it will be valid for a certain, it will tell you, you know, valid for 3 months or whatever. So the transfer value they quote is legally binding. They will give you that transfer value as long as you don't exceed the time limit. So I hope that answers that. Shams is saying, can payments to the SIPP or SAS be made from company profits? If yes, what's the annual limit? Yes, Shams, you can pay £40,000 per year per person into the SIPP or the SAS. So if you're starting from scratch and you're not doing it from a transfer value, and you're putting some money in on an annual basis, then the limit is £40,000 per person. And just to be clear, it wouldn't be from company profits. It would reduce the company profits because it's a cost, and it would avoid income tax. It would avoid employers' national insurance. It would avoid employees' national insurance. It's a massively tax efficient thing to do from a company's perspective. All right, Imran. So, and Imran Shams, get yourself on the course. Yash, I am 20 years old and just starting my first job. Well done, my friend. Many of us would wish to be 20 again. How do I start saving for my pension now? Should I work for a few years and then transfer the value of my pension to a SAS, or should I start now somehow? Well, if I were you, I would start now, and I would open up a SIPP or a SAS, I can show you to do that for nothing. And I start putting money in. And when I've got enough to, you know, because you're going to be paying tax, aren't you, Yash? No idea, you don't tell me, and it doesn't matter whether you're a higher or lower rate taxpayer. But, you know, whatever level of tax you're paying, you'll be paying national insurance as well. So it's going to be worth, you know, 25 to 45% extra every pound you put in, roughly. So that's a massive amount of extra benefit that you can get by starting early. So good man for being on this at, sorry, I think Yash is a man's name. I might be wrong if you're a woman, sorry. Good person, there we are. How do I start saving for my pension now? Should I work a few years? I would start now. Matt is saying, my question is, once we've done the course, we go off into the wide world, or do we remain in contact for guidance, etc. Yeah, so after the 2 days, we put you into a closed group for life, and you stay in contact for life. I've been answering questions in the Commercial Portfolio Builder group today. I do most days. So, and we've got lawyers, accountants, tax advisors, VAT specialists. We've got all sorts of people in that group. So, yeah, you've got that as a resource forever. So great question, Matt. Get yourself signed up, my friend. Andrew is saying, can the pension buy foreign commercial property pool? Not the Andrew who asked if this is live. That's all right, Andrew. And even the Andrew who asked if it's live. I mean, it's fine. He's obviously, my suspicion is that he's been stung in the past by something that wasn't live and he thought it was, which is why he's asking. So it will be nothing to do with me. It will be to do with his previous experiences. So I just wanted people to focus on the pensions and the making money as opposed to if it's live or not. So Andrew is saying, just to remind you, this Andrew is saying, can the pension buy foreign commercial property? Yeah, it can. It can buy all sorts of things. It can buy stocks and shares. And I would have to say, Andrew, that I've never done it. And it might need to be structured in a particular way, depending on, you know, where it is and, you know, all that sort of stuff. But there's a wide range of asset classes that SIPPs and SSAS can invest in. It doesn't have to be UK commercial property, but the one thing it definitely can't be is UK residential property. Caroline, or Carolyn, sorry, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, says, can you set up a SIPP at age of 60? Yes. It's pretty straightforward. You can set up a SIPP at the age of 160. Well, maybe you can't, because I think the record, but yeah, whatever, you know what I'm saying. You can set up a SIPP at any age. There's no limit. And, you know, if you're earning through a company and you've got good money, someone asked earlier, what's the, sorry, I've forgotten who asked. Somebody said, what can you pay in? Well, you can pay in £40,000 a year from anywhere, as long as you're earning it. Aaron loves it. All right, cool. When the money is deposited in a SIPP or a SAS, can you utilize or invest all of the money in commercial purchases, or are you limited how much can be used at any one time? No, you can use all of it. So as long as you're using it to invest in commercial purchases, no, you can deploy. So the question is, what? I'm rewording the question to make sure I understand it. The question is, can I use all of the money in my SIPP or my SAS that I've put in there to buy commercial properties? Yes, 100%. And you can borrow 50% as a SIPP or a SAS mortgage. So you can actually use, Daniel, to answer your question properly, the full amount you can use is actually 150% of the money in there. So you can use all of it and 50% more. Nav is saying, can my mum set up a SIPP? She's drawn a pension. Yes. Yes. Brian is saying, are UK commercial property laws and pension laws the same in Northern Ireland? Yes. Tax laws are the same right the way across the UK, with the exception of the devolved assemblies. So the Parliament in Scotland and the Assembly in Wales and so on have got the right to increase taxes, but for instance, the Scottish government has increased their version of stamp duty for second home purchases from 3% to 4%. But what they're not allowed to do is take away, they're not going to take away tax breaks and pensions and that sort of stuff. So yes, Brian. So if the question is, will the stuff that you learn on the course be relevant to Northern Ireland? That isn't quite what you've asked, but if that's the question, then the answer is yes. John, what do you do now that you've reached over £1 million? Do you sell the shop? No, I've moved my SIPP into a SSAS. I did that relatively recently in the scale of things, but I could see I was going to go I was going to bust my limit in my SIPP, so I moved it into a SSAS and I brought the kids in and stuff like that. Right, Richard and Mark, gotcha. You're both more or less saying the same thing, no problem. Carolyn, if so, how long does it take to set up? Well, Carolyn, the most recent experience I've got is Abby. Abby did it in 8 weeks, which is pretty quick. Andrew, I'm not sure which Andrew this is, but anyway, I've got 2 Andrews asking me questions together. Can I loan money to myself from my SSAS or my SIPP? Yes and no. Yes, if it's a SSAS, there are certain rules you need to follow, but the answer is yes. A SIPP, no. So there are differences between them. So I hope that answers your question, Andrew. SSAS, yes. SIPP, no, in terms of lending yourself money. So what time is it? 21:34. So I'm going to do this for about another, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, because I'm sure we've all got things to do. Many of you got work tomorrow. This is super important, but I can't stay in here all night. John, don't quite understand the question. What happened to the shops you had in your SSAS? Nothing, they're still there. Andrew has put a comment. It says, Andrew, well, that doesn't help me. Which Andrew are you? It doesn't matter. John is saying, can me and wife have 2 SSASs in the same limited company? No, not right. A SSAS has to have a sponsoring company. Why would you do that? You'd have double the admin fees. It's quite a technical question. I don't really know why you would want to do it, John. Could you and your wife have separate SSASs if you wanted to? Yes. I think you'd need separate limited companies. You're getting quite technical there. I'd need to understand why you were trying to do it, really. So you could have 2 separate SSASs. I'm not really sure why you'd want them. Mark is saying, hi, has Gordy got a new number? I've got a different one for him. He has got 2 phones, so he's probably got both his numbers now. John is saying, can the £40,000 per annum contribution be backdated? Yes, John. If you haven't contributed for the last 2 tax years, you can. You have to have had a pension. You can't backdate it if you didn't have a pension. Again, this is getting quite technical. So if you had a pension of any kind, yes, you can backdate it. If you didn't, you can't. So in theory, with the right set of circumstances, in year 1, you could put in £120,000 per pension, per person, not per pension, per person, sorry. Andre is saying, where did you learn all of these secrets, Paul? 15 years of doing it for myself, Andre, on top of 30 years of business and property investing. I don't know which secrets you're talking about, really. Commercial property, I've been doing for a long time. I've been doing commercial property since my 20s. Admittedly, first I was doing it for the companies that I was working for, but for the last 15 years, I've been doing it for myself. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I suppose broadly, it's called experience, knowledge. I've done every course I could get my hands on, and I've read a lot of books. So yeah, that's about it, really. Tasha. Yeah, so Tasha works for the civil service, for the sound of it. Can you transfer your civil service pension? Normally not. It depends which part of the civil service. But you could, for instance, transfer your 25% lump sum, or you could, and not all, you can set up a SIPP or a SSAS as well, Tasha. So that helps. Pamela, similar question was asked before. Sorry, you're asking questions a lot quicker than I can answer. I'm sorry about this. Are there restrictions on pension contributions? percentage related to salary taken from a company? Yes. You can't put more into your pension scheme than you're earning. So yeah, there are restrictions around it. Daniel, to borrow 50% on top of the pension pot, is this with a mortgage or a SSAS lender? The answer is yes. It's a pension, but it's a specific SSAS or SIPP pension. So it's a specific product. It's not hard to get, but you know, not all lenders are going to do it. So yeah, okay. So all right, I'm going to do 1 or 2 more questions. A load of you lovely people are getting yourself signed up, so continue signing up. And you know, it's everything that you're asking me. I hope it's useful, but how much more useful would it be to you if you'd just done 2 days with me? If you'd had a full day's recording of some deal analysis, if you've had your one-to-ones with pension advisors, with commercial surveyors, with commercial finance brokers, with commercial solicitors, you know, imagine the quality of questions that you'd be able to ask once you've been on that course. So get yourself on the course, because with the best will in the world, it can be difficult for me to make you completely financially free in the next 5 minutes by answering questions that you were asking on a webinar when there's hundreds of people and I'm trying my best to answer all of them. So yeah, right, I'm going to shoot to the end because there's gazillions of questions getting asked. Yagita is saying, when's the next webinar, please? The next one of these webinars? I don't know. 2 months, probably, maybe. Oh, Yagita means a repeat of this session. There won't be a repeat of this session, Yagita. I'm sure I'll do another webinar about commercial property, but it will be a different offer, probably a more expensive price. And yeah, so all right, Alina, I'm going to do 2 or 3 more questions. Can you buy land with the pension fund? The answer is yes, Alina, you can. So if you are thinking about, you know, booking on, and someone's saying to me, can I go back to what you get and how much does it cost, and you know, all that sort of stuff, there it is. But click on that link that says book your place now, just that big button, click on it, it will take you through to a web page that tells you everything you get. So it's just 2495. It's the 2 days of training, professional support pack, all the one-to-ones, and don't forget, special offer for today, come along and I will show you specifically how you can set up a SIPP or a SSAS free instead of paying thousands and thousands of pounds. All right, Carly is saying, can she have a recording? Because I've missed parts. Don't know, I'll ask the team what we can do. I'm not Mr. Technology. I don't know what buttons I would need to press to make that happen. Carly, and anyone else, if we can, we will. So yeah, all right. Andre is saying, loves it. Thank you, Andre. I love doing it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up now because it's 20 to 10. Annika's got to go to Hungary tomorrow, so let's get back and get packed and all that stuff. So I'm doing this from the office. Yeah, I hope you found it useful. So I'm going to leave the webinar software live for another 5-10 minutes while we pack up to get ready to go home. So make sure you get yourself booked on. Save that link, just click on the link, leave it open on your browser, then you can book in, you know, whenever you want. But just don't leave it too long. So I only got 50, right? I only did have 15 places for the rest of this year. I don't actually know which dates people are booking themselves in for. And yeah, so, right, rewind. Everything that I've talked about, 2495. Think about specifically, what are you doing for your pension provision? Is it adequate? If not, would this completely change your life? Completely change your life. I believe it would. I believe it's ridiculous value. I've stuffed in everything you need to know to give yourself security from commercial property inside and outside your pension scheme. I want to give you everything on that page for just 2495 and to help you reclaim your VAT, get your tax back. I want you to do all of that. For you, it's simple. By the time you've reclaimed your tax and your VAT, many of you are only going to pay £1,500, £1,600, which is a fraction of what it would cost you to set up a pension, which I'm going to show you how to do free. Never mind all the learning about tax, investing in commercial property, and everything else. I think this is a complete and absolute no-brainer. So from me to you, you have all been wonderful. I want to make sure you invest in your wonderful future. I've been Paul, and I'll see you very soon. Good night.